again, everybody, a warm welcome to the Celtic Forever podcast. We're going to go through the Bruges game on Wednesday night. We're going to go through the Ross County build-up as well. So a wee bit to go through, but a quick one tonight as well at the same time. Let's say hello to John. How are you feeling after Wednesday night's game?
Aye, all right. To have decent result,
It was a good point, John. It was a very good point, in fact, against a very, very decent Club Bruges. They were good, John, weren't they?
Aye, I thought Bruges were an excellent team. Aye. Definitely worthy the point they took. So I think a draw was a fair result and end up, to be honest with you.
Aye. Yeah, a draw was a good result for Celtic, to be honest with you. I was surprised with, what Bruges had to offer, to be honest with you. But we'll get into that in a wee minute. A wee bit of housekeeping. Correct score competition for Ross County. Give us a correct score, please, and any goal scorer in the match. One guess each into the comments to win the Celtic Legends wall plaque, and more than one correct entry. That obviously goes to a draw. Usual rules there, folks. So get your guesses into the comments. Good luck with that. Your choice of prize as well. Okay, we're a no ads podcast and we're a no profit podcast as well. Just thought I'd quickly mention that. Hit that like button, hit the share button, and hit the subscribe button as well, and turn on your notification bell. Right, John, let's get into just the main points in this game on Wednesday night against Bruges. As we've already said, a decent point, a very good point, puts us in a healthy position in the Champions League group. Eight points with a couple of slightly easier games to come, John. I know no game is easy in the Champions League, but we've got a couple of games coming up, especially the one against Young Boys at Celtic Park. So that's the 3 points hopefully we'll get to qualify for the next round, John. But let's get right into it, John. The own goal, Carter Vickers, big man's allowed a mistake. The big solid defender, big Carter Vickers. Cameron caught in two minds, went to rolls the ball into the net. Casper was well out his goal. Just one of the unfortunate incidents, John. We just need to accept it and move on. 1-0 to Bruges.
Aye, nothing you can do about that. It's just one of the freak goals, isn't it? It's obviously you've got to have a wee bit more awareness of where your keeper is in that situation, but the big man hardly puts a foot wrong for Celtic. Everybody's entitled to a mistake every now and again. So, aye, hard luck, big Kasper Schmeichel, and he almost got to it as well.
Yeah, I was surprised how close he got to, because he was a fair bit off his line when he did actually nearly get to it. So, unlucky to Kasper. But that for them to score in that way, it was a bit annoying, wasn't it? They couldn't break us down in normal play, so I had to take something freaky like that before they got the goal, John, and that's what happened. So, but they were impressive, John. They passed that ball about quite sweetly. I thought Bruges, Celtic sort of struggled to come to terms with the way they were playing. I think we were, we were okay, but we weren't really threatening them in the first half, were we?
Nah, we never threatened them at all in the first half. But okay, I thought the entire game was kind of itchy-peachy. There was nothing between the two teams really. I just thought Club Bruges they looked a lot quicker to the second balls and all that. They were very fast on the counter-attack as well, good in possession. So I think it was a good point for Celtic.
Brilliant points. I know a lot of people are saying we've got to win the home games, but you don't need to win the home games, especially if you're already taking points away from home, John. So, one more win, that's all we need to get to the knockout stage, John. So, one more win, and we've got 3 games to do that. So it's looking good, as the song goes, John. It's looking good. Okay, the equaliser, John, Dyson. Fans were getting a wee bit impatient, a wee bit annoyed, weren't they, just before the goal? And then Dyson pops up with that wonder strike. He slips in the process of shooting, but it's a wonder goal, John. Beautiful swerve on it, curl round the goalkeeper, inside the post, John, and into the net. Dyson, we know he's an outstanding player. We've always said it, but he delivered last night with that equaliser. And at that point, I was quite happy with a draw. What were you thinking at that point?
I thought they were. I mean, look, talking about the goal, right? We'll go on to that first. I thought the goal was exquisite from Dyson. You don't often see him using much emotion, but you seen it last night. How happy he was with that strike. But
yeah,
on the rest of the game, I think Brendan, if you ask me, made the substitutes too early. I think he should have left Kuhn on and he should have left Dyson on, because Bruges were starting to rock a wee bit at this point. They were starting to, they were getting pushed back, and I think if we would have left Kuhn and Maeda on, I think we could have got a win out of that game.
Yeah, I was watching the game with my grandson again, and as soon as we equalised, I said, "There's a good chance we're going to go in and win this." Obviously, that's no easy against a team like Bruges, obviously, but our tails were up, John. But once we got that equaliser, but right after the equaliser, they did have another chance, Bruges, didn't they? But I think we saw Bruges tiring slightly the last 15 minutes, and that's when I thought, well, we're going to get that winner, but it wasn't to be, John. So. We get the point, okay? We get the point. But let's touch on the elephant in the room, John. And we've got to be able to voice our opinion on this Arnie Engels. I know he's only a young lad, 19, 20, 21 maybe. I'm not too sure of his exact age, but I know he's only a young boy. He's played every game for his came to Celtic, John. So I said on the preview that maybe he needs a rest. It's beginning to look that way, John, isn't it? He's maybe needing a rest. He's a young lad. He's playing every single minute of every single game, John. We know he's a decent player, but the last 2, maybe 3 games, John, he's not been doing it, has he?
No, he's not done anything for me in any game, to be honest with you. But like you says, he's a young player. He's still got time to grow and get the experience. I'm sure he'll get the experience this season. He's going to play every game. Paid 11 million quid for him, so he's going to play. That's just the way it is. But I think Paulo Bernardo was the guy to start that game's under.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, John. I think if you give Arnie a game rest, even just one game, you'll see a different player when he comes back. So I think Brendan, as you say, John, I think he's going to stick with him. He's paid all that money for him. He's going to stick with him. But the team and the squad is the most important thing, John. We're still getting the results. Last night was a decent result. But you can hear the fans, John, getting restless and annoyed with Arnie. So it's unfair on the player as well. Just give him the break that he needs. We've got other midfielders there that can step in, John. So I think if you give him a game or 2 break, you'll see a different Arnie Engels when he returns, John. What do you think?
I'm not sure, Xander. I never knew anything about the boy before he came to Celtic, and what I've seen so far, I've not been impressed. Right, I'm just going to say it. I've not been impressed. I'm not saying get rid of him and all that. I'm just saying so far, what I've seen, I've not been impressed. You can see he's a good player with ability. You can see that, but he seems to freeze in the games. I think he gives the ball away quite a lot. Too much for my liking. Doesn't get involved enough in the games. But maybe you're right. Maybe he does need a wee rest, a wee game or 2 rest. I don't know what the answer is, but look, I'm sure he'll come good after his first season. He's going to get used to the Scottish game in particular. But his performance last night was very poor, to be honest with you. I wasn't impressed at all.
Yeah. Okay, John. Don't want to go too much on about the boy, so we'll move on. He will come good. He will come good eventually. I'm sure of it. I've been saying it, for the last few weeks, John. It's the one wee thing. It didn't annoy me, but I was mentioning it with Matthew last night watching it. This Celtic, Bruges play on, right? Well, they've got a man down injured. Bruges play on, try and attack, try and score. The ball goes out for a goal kick. Celtic go up the park to attack. The player's still lying on the ground, and Celtic knocked the ball out the park. That was unbelievable for me. That was Rio once it put the ball at the park. We know the Japanese lads are gentlemen. We know that, but why should we put the ball at the park when they don't? When it's their player that's on the ground, John. So that was pretty bad for me, especially when we're approaching half time, looking for a goal. And then, John, the player gets his treatment and he's down for a couple of minutes, John. And then the referee puts the board up for the injury time at half time, 1 minute, when the player's down for over 2, John. So that whole sequence of events just didn't work out for us, did it?
No, it never worked out. That's just the way it is. I mean, I think teams, when they play away from home in the Champions League, they try every dirty trick in the book to buy time, to slow the game down, all that stuff. That's common in Europe with the teams playing away from home, Xander. So I wasn't surprised by any of that kind of stuff,
Yeah, well, about the injury time though, John. There was other injuries in the game, other stoppages, and the 2.5 minutes the player was down getting treatment, and he only adds on 1 minute. So maybe it's just a Champions League thing. I don't know. Okay, let's get into the Ross County game, John. Well done, Celtic, last night, by the way. Good point, and it puts us in a great position. 8 points in the Champions League. wonderful. Just a great position to be in, John. Any wee final thoughts before we move on to Ross County?
No, I just thought it was a poor first half, that's all. Second half was a lot better. And in my opinion, I thought Brendan should have kept Nicholas Kuhn and Dyson Maida on. He should have started with Bernardo. He could have brought Luke McCowan on for Hatate, I thought, as well. I thought Hatate had a poor game last night as well. But generally speaking, to sum it up, delighted with the points, Xander. This is a Champions League. It's a league that's full of great teams. Bruges are no exception. I thought they were a fantastic team. And look, Celtic did well, I think. We could have edged it, I think. But it turned out one each. I'm happy enough with that. And I just watched Cercle Bruges, you call them, playing against Hearts there. That finished 2-0 to Cercle Bruges there. And they share the same stadium as Club Bruges.
All right. Yeah, nearly the same name, same stadium. Yeah, okay, yeah. I know they're nowhere near the level of Club Bruges, because Club Bruges are top class, aren't they? So, by the way, another wee point before we move on to Ross County. I hope Big Carter Vickers doesn't get the same grief as what Liam Scales got, when he got sent off for England, and grief before that as well for no reason. So we hope that Big Cameron doesn't get the same treatment. All right, John, let's get into the big one on Saturday. John, we play first, Aberdeen play second, Rangers play second on Sunday as well. So we play on the Saturday. So it gives us a chance to move clear of Aberdeen and Rangers. So it's a good game. It's a big game. It's Ross County. They're on form. John, they beat Motherwell the weekend 2-1. But, they are in form. They're sitting 8th in the league, John. They're really doing well, Ross County, just now. They've won 3 games, drawn 6 games, and lost 5. And sitting 8th, as I've already said, John. So we can't take anything for granted against Ross County, John. 3 points, an absolute must. Let's just put them to bed early in the first half and get the 3 points in the bag.
It's not as easy as just doing that, though, is it? That's the thing. We've got to turn up and beat Ross County, because they're a solid team. They can be a solid team. But, like you say, we just need to turn up and hopefully put them to bed early, get the first half out of the way, and maybe rest a couple of the players.
Yeah, that's it, John. We're going to get into that in a wee minute, what we should do, because obviously we've got Aberdeen coming up in next midweek at Pittodrie. So is he going to make big changes? That's the question, isn't it? But yeah, Ross County, John, they're on a wee bit of form, and they're a good, decent, big, solid team. A couple of their players to watch. We always do this. We always do the players to watch. We've got Ricky Lamy, okay player. We've got White, half decent player. Brophy as well, John. Connor Randall. Josh Nesbitt, who scored at the weekend against Motherwell as well, John. So they've got a few half decent players, and they're always big and physical, Ross County as well, John.
Aye, they're, but especially at Ross County's ground, whatever you call that. I can't remember. I'm hopeless at remembering stuff these days. But anyway, never mind that, by the by, all that rubbish. When they're playing up there in Ross County, they're a big physical team. When they play at Celtic Park, they tend to park the bus a wee bit. So we'll wait and see what Ross County shows up there. But I think we should be okay on Saturday, Xander. I think we should get 3 points okay. But I'd like to see Celtic playing for 2 halves. I mean, we're seeing a lot of that this season yet again. Only showing up for 1 half. It's 1 bad half, 1 good half. And you've been saying it, and I've been saying it all along. We need a 2 half Celtic team. They need to play for 90 minutes.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying for a few weeks, John. Even though we've still been getting the results against everybody we've played with, we really are flying. The Celtic team is going to have a lull at some point in the season, John. We're going to have a lull at some point in the season. We really are. Maybe that's going to come during the winter months. We hope it doesn't come, obviously. But every team goes through a lull, didn't they? So, a game of 2 halves. We need to try and cut that out and it'll last for 90 minutes. Victoria Park, John, is the name of Ross County's grounds. And the sponsor name is the Global Energy Stadium. So that's a by the by, as you say. But John, no. It's the 3 points is the most vital thing on Saturday. Nothing else matters, because if we get the 3 points, it puts both Aberdeen and Rangers under a wee bit of pressure.
Aye, exactly. Aye. The Global Energy Stadium. I remember that. But it does. It puts both of them under pressure. I was watching Hearts playing against Cercle Bruges, and they're playing against Aberdeen. So this is the one I'm kind of. I don't know whether I want Aberdeen to win that game against Hearts or I want Hearts to beat them, to put more daylight between us and Hearts. But also, I would like to see Aberdeen maintaining their their gap with Rangers, so it's a tough one. That.
Yeah, maybe a draw would be a better result, John. But Rangers, they're away to St Johnstone. There's no gimme there either, is there? Yeah, okay, so we'll move on, John, to the predicted lineup. What you're thinking the predicted lineup's going to be? I think there's going to be some changes. What you thinking, buddy?
I think so. I think there's going to be a couple of changes. I'm fancying Liam Scales to start this one beside Vickers and Schmeichel, of course, Alistair Johnston and Alex Valley, I think, is going to start this one. Centre of the park, I'm hoping he starts with Bernardo this week, Callum McGregor, and obviously Hatate. And up front, I think it's going to be the usual suspects up front. It's going to be Kyogo, Maeda and Kuhn.
Yeah, it's the big Aberdeen game that's coming up that's maybe on Brendan's mind. No, the players, they'll not be thinking that way. Brendan probably won't either, but I'm certainly thinking about Pittodrie, John. I don't know about you. Just want to get an early goal against Ross County, put the game to bed as early as possible. I know what you said earlier, it's easier said than done. But John, we should be strong enough to do that against Ross County. But as you say, anything can happen, isn't it? So yeah, I'll go with obviously the goalkeeper. That stays the same as Michael. We're going to have Alistair. Obviously, he'll start the game as well. I'm going to go with Scales and Carter Vickers. I think McTrusty will get a rest, and then or vice versa. Either one of them maybe get a rest, John. And Valley, yeah, I'm the same as you. I think Valley will start. McGregor, I think he's going to go with Bernardo. I think he's going to go with Rio, Adam Ida, Isaac Maida and Nicholas Kuhn. Yeah, John, so just a couple of wee changes there, but a couple of changes I think it's necessary, especially if we're going up to Pittodrie as well. But the most important thing is getting these 3 points over the line.
Definitely, aye. So you went with the same starting lineup as me. That's the first, I think.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a couple of changes, John. I think it's needed, and I think Arnie Engels does need a rest, and I think you'll get that rest on Saturday, John. But you never know. He might keep it the same as the team that started on Wednesday night. We just don't know. We're just guessing, just assuming, I suppose, what's going to happen. But Ross County, John, as I say, they just beat Motherwell. A tough game against Motherwell, a decent Motherwell team. So, what's your predicted score for the game on Saturday, John?
I'm going to take a punt at 3-0 Celtic.
3-0, yeah. I mean, I think if we get an early goal, it could be anything, to be honest with you. So it all depends on where we get an early goal. But for my guess for our wee competition between us, I'll say I don't know, John. But I don't know. I'll go 4-0. I'll go to 4. Comfortable enough afternoon, John. 3 points in the bag, 14 points clear of Rangers, and 5 points clear of Aberdeen. Should it happen? So. It's one I'm looking forward to. It always is. Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff. We don't get many of them, do we?
No, you don't see many 3 o'clock kickoffs these days. But it's an important game. It's an important game, and the big game is the one against Aberdeen. Of course, after that, Aberdeen against Hearts. I don't know like I says, I don't know who I want to win that game. Maybe I'd fancy a Hearts win just to maybe put Aberdeen on a bit of a downer for facing Celtic. I really don't know. I'm kind of focused on that game, to be honest with you. That Hearts and Aberdeen game, that's a big one. That.
Yeah. I think a draw would be a suitable enough result there, John. And what we'll do then is we'll quickly run through what we think the predicted scores are going to be for the weekend's fixtures. Just a wee quick run through, John. And obviously the fixtures start on the Saturday. So we've got Celtic Ross County, we've already done. Dundee United St Mirren.
Dundee United obviously got a draw at Ibrox there. St Mirren just beat Aberdeen, so two teams kind of on a wee bit of form. They'll be high in confidence. I'm going to go for a draw there, one each.
Exactly what I was going to say, John. So I'll change it and I'll say 2 each, right? Kilmarnock, Dundee.
Kilmarnock win. Kilmarnock 3-1 to Kilmarnock.
Dundee, decent team, John. I'm going to go with a draw again, so 1 each for me there. Who else have we got? Motherwell, John, who lost last weekend against struggling Hibs.
Motherwell against struggling Hibs. I watched the game midweek. What a game that was. Hibs against Aberdeen, 3 each. Cracking game to watch. The second half. The first half was terrible. It was brutal, but the second half was outstanding. An outstanding game of football, that. I'm going to say it's a tough one, isn't it? Home win. I don't know. 1-0 home win.
Yeah, I think Hibs are going a wee upward spiral, if that's such a possible thing, an upward spiral. Anyway, I'm going to give Hibs the win. John, I'm going to give Hibs a 2-1 win. So we'll move on to Sunday's fixtures. These are a wee bit more interesting. St Johnstone against Rangers. John, I think that's going to be a tough one for them. What are you thinking, buddy?
I'm going to go for 2 each. I'm going for a Desmond here.
Yep, a Desmond 2-2 for John. I'll go 2-1 to St Johnstone, and that'll be the final nail on Clement's coffin. Hearts against Aberdeen.
I was just watching Big Clement getting interviewed on the telly there. It sounds doing, obviously. Final nail on his coffin.
Right.
No, this is the big one. This is the big one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I've just watched Aberdeen drawn against a really, really poor Hibs team. Although I thought Hibs were quite good, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tougher game for Aberdeen this weekend, Xander. I'm going to go for a Hearts win. Home win. I'm going to go for 1-0 Hearts.
Yeah, I'm taking your 2-2, John. I'm taking your Desmond's 2 each draw. Hearts getting beat earlier on, and Aberdeen, they're on a downward spiral, aren't they? So both teams sort of off form. So 2 each for me, John. A wee Desmond there for me. All right, John, that wraps up for the night. Just a quick one, a wee quick preview of Ross County and a wee chat on the Bruges game. So just a wee quick one. We'll catch everybody on the post-match for the Ross County Saturday. We'll do a podcast on Saturday, folks. Enter the competition as well. Remember, correct score and goal scorer into the comments. John, a wee final thoughts for you, buddy?
If the two teams, Aberdeen and Rangers, draw this weekend, I'll be more than delighted with that. I'll take that. But obviously, more importantly, obviously we've got our eye on these other games. We're wanting to bridge this gap. I want to see Celtic stretch that lead, just far and away in front of the two as far as possible. So I'm looking for Celtic to stretch that lead at the top of the table. And I'm looking forward to the weekend. It's a lot of very interesting fixtures there, Xander. Bring it on.
Yeah, bring it on, John. And to go 14 clear, I think that would put serious pressure on Rangers and Aberdeen, John. So, okay, that's it for the night. The comments will return on the post-match on Saturday, folks. So get your comments into the comments, funnily enough. Good luck to Celtic on Saturday. Great point against Bruges on Wednesday. And we'll catch you for the post-match on Saturday, John.
I'll speak to you Saturdays, Xander. Hail, hail, mate.
Hail, hail, John. Catch you later, buddy.